16, 2021. This is a free Friday class. Thank you for watching the Awesome10X YouTube channel. And for this reference, please watch also the April 16. Let me show to you that class. This is April 16. We talked about why green and silver belongs to your Awesome10X portfolio. Take note that when we have a bullish bias, it's always rooted from a fundamental take. So before we go into charts, let's just give you a few analysis on the fundamental secular reasons why solars like green and silver have a secular trend. Why is silver so valuable? Let's just repeat the fast reasons why. The first reason is because of solar photovoltaic, which needs a lot of silver, and the future of solar energy is just strong. So the physical bars of silver are actually being used in industrial demand, and the demand is outstripping all the supply. So longer term indicators means that we believe silver is going to go higher because of PV installation, new electric vehicles and hybrids, especially light duty vehicle production. So we talked a lot about it during the April 16. Do take advantage and watch that video again. It's in the free Friday class, why green and silver belongs in your Awesome10X portfolio. Today, it's going to be more of an update of that existing trend. That problem has never been fixed. This is one of the reasons why we are very bullish on lithium miners, why we are bullish on lithium recyclers, battery recycling companies. No matter if American Battery Metals, for instance, hasn't risen, we know that the fundamentals are actually very bullish for those lithium recyclers like ABML and LICY. And if JM Straubel's Redwood Materials were, which is a private company today, were publicly listed, we're going to be bullish on that. So the energy and commodities boom today is really heightened. You could see in October 15, energy crisis could threaten the global economic recovery because it is triggering inflation. Take note, European gas, imported coal, Brent, Asian spot, LNG, German power. These movements are actually in 1 year time hitting somewhere from around Brent crude oil is the only one less than 200%. The rest is 6x, 8x, 10x, which are really curtailing all of the inflation. Okay, as a result, global oil demand next year is now projected to recover to pre-pandemic levels. So let's take a look at the charts. You could see all the top market caps in the oil and energy space are actually rising. This is ExxonMobil rising from 55 to 62 and is expected to go higher. This is Chevron rising from 95 to 108. This is Royal Dutch Shell rising from 42 to 48. The A and B are actually rising. Could see this one 42 to 48. This is PetroChina rising from 40 to 50. And you can see all the top, no? ConocoPhillips, British Petroleum, EQNR, TTE. We are seeing an uptrend on the major oil and gas companies and stations all around the world. These are just a few more: PBR, EPD, TRP, EOG, E, CNQ. If you have ideas on what to buy, well, you don't have to think. You don't need to do fundamentals. The top oil and gas producers in the world are in a shortage crisis. So these are just some charts for you to see evidences. All of them are spiking, and this trend is not expected to reverse until, I'd say, a year. You don't actually just ramp up supply within a few days. When you have a crisis, this is also telling you that the bullish move of Petron Corporation in the Philippines, it's not like a blip. That is actually going maybe 4, 5, 6 pesos. You have to understand the 3 peso support of Petron could actually rally 100%. And the rally at 360 in US, in the Philippines, 20% up. That is just the start of a, I'm not saying it's a secular uptrend, but as long as we haven't supplied enough energy for the world, solars, renewables, the world needs energy. It doesn't have to come from clean energy, although we prefer that it comes from clean energy. What the world is saying is that we are in an energy shortage. It can come from dirty fuel, which is really rising for the coal mines all over the world. This is the reason why DMC, SEC, 1898, 1171 have all been spiking. There's a shortage. It's inflationary. Let's take a look. It is a reversal. Notice this reversal. It's a 6-year uptrend. It's a 6-year breakout. This is one example of an oil and gas company, TRP. Take note, 160 falls about 20, almost 90% down. It reminds me of Petron, 90% down. The charts are the same. But for the last 5, you could see for 1 year, it is now trading above that $60, about to. That chart is reminiscent of what chart? Brent crude oil is also in a 5-year breakout, 6-year, 7-year breakout. That $80 Brent crude oil is happening because of a short-term energy crisis. Take a look at uranium, nuclear energy. This is one company listed in New York Stock Exchange. CCJ is becoming a super boom. This is probably going to hit all-time highs, not just within the week, but perhaps within the year. This is hitting near all-time highs. It was very strong. CCJ is just a sector of the entire uranium sector, which is really bullish on Australia, Canada, which has them. Let's take a look at steel. Steel miners are also in an uptrend. ArcelorMittal is traded in Europe and also in US. So you can buy it straight. You could see 24 hitting 27. Of course, you prefer to buy on dips. But the thing about these commodity booms is that there are no dips. Sometimes there are no dips. You want to buy in and then just cost average every single day until it just hits all-time highs. So you could see that it has been rallying since 2020. There's a shortage, and that trend continues to be strong. There's a demand recovery. So we are in a place where inflationary price of everything, we prefer silver instead of gold. We are also seeing global food prices are in inflationary, 10-decade high, 10-year high, up 30% from a year ago. So the talk about inflation being transitory is not supported by real fundamentals. Inflationary trend is here, and therefore if you want to protect your cash, you make sure you have commodities. The global level is surging to levels unforeseen since the 1990s. So this is a very crucial boom cycle for your oil, specifically Petron and Shell in the Philippines. You've got the following crisis: tightening supply, logistical bottlenecks equals a commodity boom. So these are the strong buy lists. You can take a picture of this. Australia index, we expect 7.3 to actually hit 8,000 at the very least. From an index perspective, because you can lever up an index, a 50% move can be taken advantage for people who are doing 5x leverage on their eToros on Australian index. Same could be said for Australian dollar. You could buy 73 cents. We think it's going to hit 80 cents. Freeport-McMoRan, you can buy all you want, 32 to 37, the largest copper and gold in the world. Jiangxi Copper is the largest copper in China. You want to buy 13 to 15. All the steel are in an uptrend. Whether you're buying US Steel, ArcelorMittal, POSCO Steel, you could see US, London, or Korea. So 22, 27 to 30, 63 to 69. Rio Tinto and BHP are UK, the largest. If you've missed out on Chevron and ExxonMobil, you want to get the largest gas stations in Europe and Australia. That would be Rio Tinto and BHP. You want to buy these oil reversal plays. For uranium, these are all-time highs. Uranium ETF, URNM, URA, and you have small caps like UEC, URG, and even a large cap like CCJ. Lithium, we are bullish. We're saying LTHM, Albemarle for the largest lithium miner in the world. Of course, you can make another stab here through the recycling companies like LICY and ABML, which hasn't rallied yet. But if you want the uptrend strong buy list, lithium and Albemarle are in uptrends. Now, obviously, we believe in silver. So silver 22. PAAS, HL, these are some silver miners. I have to add WPM, Wheaton Precious Metals, and of course, even aluminum and nickel. For the people who are looking and asking Nickel-Asia in the Philippines, yes, we are also bullish Nickel-Asia. 550 is going to go 6 and 7 with the way nickel prices are trading at today. Look at aluminum, also a buy, 15 to 17. So you've got a lot, in general, all uranium names. if I didn't mention it, it doesn't mean that I don't have a buy on it. So let's take a look in each chart. Nickel. Nickel has been rising from 11,000 to 20,000. This is a doubling. So even if you think Nickel Asia has rallied 2 to 4 to 5, well, this trend is still in an uptrend, and so believe that Nickel Asia is going to go higher. Platinum is also a reversal move, but this is a good entry point from 900 rallying to 1,050. We expect all these commodities and precious metals to continue their uptrend. So that is going to be a higher move. So people who want to buy straight up commodity, you can do so. So we expect this to continue higher. Platinum, palladium, the same thing happening. 2,000 to 2,1. You could see it rallying perhaps to 2,500 to 3,000. So you buy some palladium. Aluminum has just been in a striking uptrend, and the bullish buy here is the laggard. Chalco hasn't risen to all-time highs yet, 2,600 or ACH. Sugar is at all-time highs. This is very bullish for, I think, Malaysia. Now, if you think about it, I think that the people who are bullish in the Philippines on DNL have to be careful, because DNL is gonna suffer with a commodity boom unless DNL has hedged in such a way that they're going long on all the commodities. So you have to think, if you're a DNL investor, be careful. Commodity boom is very bearish on DNL if you think about it, because it is their cost. As a food company as well, think about the Jollibees of the world, ingredients. Inflationary control would have an impact on your food. So it actually is very bearish on restaurants. I'd say the Jollibee today at 226, 227, if you're listening here, is more of a sell area rather than a buy area. You would argue, yes, there is a pandemic recovery, but with inflation, it's gonna hit. This is one reason, in my view, why Mondelez and URC are already suffering, because they are food manufacturers. If you are eating any chocolate there, Hershey's is gonna suffer because sugar, chocolates are gonna be more expensive. If you believe that your M&Ms is comprising of sugar and cocoa, right? So if people are wondering and asking me every day, why is Mondelez going down? Twofold. You've got inflation and you've got them as food manufacturers. Salt and sugar is a critical component when you are manufacturing junk food, when you are manufacturing Jack and Jill potato chips. Now, that said, I don't think everyone in the Philippines is really thinking about these things. That's why it is an opportunity for you to think about, because I believe that there is a capped reward for URC at 146, 145, 140. And there's a capped reward for Mondelez at 17.50 to 18, or even if it rallies to 19 to 20, you have to think for yourself as well. There's a commodity boom. You have to hedge yourself. I'm not saying that URC didn't hedge. They probably did. If you are a manufacturer, like I'm not quite sure, because for URC, let's talk about some Philippine stocks here that are getting affected, all right? Because I largely believe that my viewers are also from the Philippines who are investing in the Philippines. This has an impact, a straight impact on sugary food products. This has an impact on Coca-Cola. This has an impact on Nestle. All food manufacturers, guys, this has an impact. People are asking, why am I just talking about Nickel Asia? Sure, you can also buy FNI, but obviously, the first mover would have to be the large caps and then the small caps. So it's up to you how to think about how you want to initiate your oil play. But I'm very traditional because I see Petron, okay, let's just go for the largest distribution of Philippines of oil, which is Petron. But you can argue, well, Nikki, why aren't you telling Shell? It is the same, Petron and Shell. You could buy both. I don't mind. Felix Petroleum, in a way, it's an oil play, sure. But I can also just go long commodities. Of course, sometimes I don't want to think about which company. I can just go long commodities. You can go long palladium. You can go long silver. You can take a look at this. Nat gas is rising. This perhaps is the reason why first gen in the Philippines has been privatized. Now people are asking, can we buy first gen? Technically speaking, if you look at the commodity prices, LNG and nat gas are at all-time highs. Obviously, if first gen is not making money, it's weird because all perhaps oil and gas companies are making money. It's as if you're telling me that nickel prices are shooting at 20,000 from 11,000, and then you don't expect Nickel Asia to make money. It's more or less either a laggard play, but sometimes the faster play is obviously the commodity itself. Oil is at $80. This is at a 6-year high. So you have to assume that Petron is supposed to be at the 5-year or 6-year highs as well. So it's not supposed to be at 360 areas in the Philippines. Copper is trading at this is trading at about 10-year high, guys. So this is why I'm saying Freeport-McMoRan, the largest copper mine in the world, has to go all-time high. It's sometimes as easy as a correlation, 1:1, or if you don't want to make a correlation, just bet on copper longs. So this has been a strong uptrend since 2020 and has not met any resistance. We are perhaps in a super cycle boom because how could you get more copper? Either you have to recycle, right? And where, if you think about it, who's the buyer of copper? China. China still needs a lot of them. So this is the largest copper mine in the world, Freeport-McMoRan, 2020, $4, trading at 44. This is not yet over. This is a consolidation. 37 is going to go 44 and then perhaps 50 or 60. We don't see any stopping on this demand. 4 to 40 for Freeport-McMoRan, 10x. That's why in the Philippines, at last, I don't know, Philex, copper, may copper ba si Philex? But any copper company should technically be making money. Jiangxi Copper in the Chinese region, you could see that it has not gone so high. So this is a buy. $15 Hong Kong and Jiangxi Copper is a buy. We expect this to hit $20 or $30. Southern Copper, also a buy. SCCO. You'll notice this gives you a setup. So copper is already here. If you're going to view the prices, copper is already supposed to be 76. And Southern Copper is at 62. So even if you buy it tonight, you still want to get in. I was trying to buy, actually for the last 5 days, I was trying to buy copper. There are no dips. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's just been up, up, up. 58 to 63, 10% up. I tried to buy, no entries, no dips. It's either you just buy ahead at market because it just keeps on rising. So the thing about these trends is I'll just buy every single day, cost average, because these trends are very strong. Rio Tinto, oil is going up. So guys, expect this 65 to just go $90, $100. What's the target? People ask me, what's your target? I said 30% increase minimum. Now, if you think about it, can it go 50, 100%? Perhaps. Because it's not as if I can just recreate clean energy tomorrow. It's not as if in the Philippines, ASEAN can supply the entire Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. We are still relying on what? Aboitiz power, right? Semirara power. So that is dirty fuel. But there's no choice. So in the Philippines, that's one reason why we're saying Aboitiz power. Since 20, we were giving a buy, 21, even at 29, 40, 50% higher, we're still shouting a buy on it. Because even if you have it low, where can you reverse? Can you find more energy elsewhere? No, there's none. So it means that the world trying to reopen means factories are all clamoring dirty fuel or clean fuel. They don't care as long as it's running. BHP Group, the same thing can be said, going up. So you can actually see an entry point. Rio Tinto, BHP, FCX, SCCO, they're lagging behind the actual entity inside. If you think about it, I've been shouting, yeah, Bitcoin is trading at $60,000. But you could also buy Bitfarms, which is also lagging. So I guess there's always a lag component on the miners, but the commodity itself has already gone up. Okay? Ganfeng Lithium, I can't find any lithium elsewhere. It's either you buy Ganfeng Lithium, you buy Albemarle. It's in Chile, it's in China, some in US. There's very few. Try your best to find lithium. You're only gonna be doing something like JM Straubel is doing, recycling. So there's very few miners that can provide that. You have so much demand on electric vehicles, and yet there is this production shortage. Without metals, you cannot produce all of your Tesla Model Ys. So you can buy all of the miners in the world. Make sure your portfolio has miners, whether it's in the Philippines, whether it's in China, whether it's in US, Canada, Australia. Miners, have miners. Albemarle is in Chile. Okay, we were saying to buy during 220. Had it fallen to 210, I wouldn't have changed my mind. But last night, ayun na, umangat na yung Albemarle. British Petroleum is available in New York Stock Exchange. We view this as a hedge because British Petroleum right now is the largest gas station. It's like buying the Petron. But the beautiful thing about British Petroleum is it also invested in StoreDot, the fastest charging battery network right now. And it's going to expand with their SPAC. And British Petroleum will definitely convert those 20,000 gas stations they have to charging stations. So it's going to be something like a charge point in the future. So if you're bullish on all charging stations, you cannot deny that British Petroleum is going to go $50, $60 over time. So at $30 all the way to 27, these are long-term secular buys. You've got a short-term buy and a long-term buy. Okay, silver, you can buy the stock or you can buy the commodity itself. We said all the solar components, all the solar panels, they need conductivity, and silver is the metal for that conductivity. You need to know your chemistry. All the chemists will tell you you need silver. So 22 to 23, that's why this drop is an opportunity. I am long silver here at 23. Even if it goes 22, I'll be going long. Now, maybe there is a resistance here at 26 to 28, but that's good enough because in silver, you always have leverage. I could do a 5x lever here such that if it rallied 20%, it's 100% up on my money. Now, if you want stocks, this is one stock again, Wheaton Precious Metals in the support area. You can see it's bouncing this week from 38 to 41. That is not gonna stop. It's gonna go further to 48. Any dips, it's a buy. Another thing to note, these are weaker buys. This is not related to commodity boom, but I argue these names can be bought because they are at supports. Qualcomm, you've got a $10 billion buyback program. You have unrelenting need for 5G. And the world is not just producing more wireless infrastructure today. They want to connect everything because of connected cars. How could those cars talk to each other without 5G? How could it self-drive without 5G? Think about it. This is a critical infrastructure. If you are so bullish on Cloudflare, you have to think fundamentally Qualcomm and Skyworks have a fundamental infrastructure reason to be bought. Qualcomm 122 to 128 is a buy. Skyworks 156 to 160 is a buy. Now, people are talking about shortage. Nike talked about the shortage, but Nike and Adidas today seems to be at support. Nike $150 has an entry point. Adidas 260 area has an entry point. Obviously, when there is a shortage, they have said that their sales would have an impact next year. So that is the reason why I'm saying it's a weaker buy list, but it is at support. So this is not as strong as the commodity boom because think about it. What if you were in the place of Adidas? You are having a shortage. So will you have more production if you will see that your sales are not gonna do well? Because you have to pass on that cost to your customers. So obviously there is a difficulty to say that Funko will also be strong, but I view Funko to be a strong catalyst buy because e-commerce and digital collectibles are doing very well. Why am I saying it's a weaker buy? Because you have that inflation. I cannot change inflation. Inflation always has an impact to all things retail. Everything that is being produced, food is gonna be expensive. There might be an impact to your restaurant sector. I think that's the reason why you have to be skeptical on food-related industries. I could be wrong, of course. Inflation could change within 1 year. I don't know, or 6 months. But you have to understand those things. Nonetheless, I'm bullish on Adidas and Funko. I think the 260 seems to have priced in the negativity. Actually, for URC in the Philippines, 125, 131, 132 seems to have priced in the negativity naman. You see that underperformance a result of inflation. I don't know if it will go lower, but I think if it goes lower, people would want to buy in because at the end of the day, some people on a 30 peso price point, kasi most of the URC products are 30 pesos, 25 pesos, yung piso-piso na uptick, hindi napapansin ng tao. I don't know how many people actually notice it. I'm not quite sure if people will notice Lucky Me Pansit Canton pag nag-increase ng 5%. The poorest of the poor will feel it. Pero some people might not feel it. Hindi ko sure. So, anyway, consumer staple siya eh. I mean, kung sanay ka na talagang kumain ng Pansit Canton, would you really change your habit or behavior when everything else in the world is gonna be expensive anyway? So that's the reason why cautioned rin yung mga ganyan. Like, the reason is consumer staples like Hershey's, Nestle, kape is kape, chocolate is chocolate. Kapag kumakain ka, if you are sanay to drink Nescafe, you're not gonna change it because sugar is rising and spiking. Who's gonna suffer? Consumers, obviously. Pero always the manufacturer will pass it on to you. Gagawin niya, kung 5 peso coffee, gagawin niya 5 peso 50 cents hanggang sa maging 6 pesos. Hanggang sa hindi mo napapansin, umaangat lahat ng presyo ng bilihin. Some people napapansin nila, especially if they are everyday shopping for those coffee. But if they're buying it every 2 months or every month, baka hindi nila napapansin. I'm not sure. I don't know if the consumers are aware of how expensive commodities are today. It's not just commodities na metals, but even food ingredients. Dapat tinatamaan si DNL if you think about it from a fundamental perspective. But in the Philippines, I think kasi up lang yung market, everyone's just buying commodities, up. Hindi sila sobrang fundamentals. Nagte-technicals lang sila, but even their technicals are wrong because the technicals of the variable good is, yun nga, as I said, sugar is becoming expensive. Cocoa is also expensive. Wheat is also expensive. Unless you're producing it para ma-hedge yung mga problems mo. Okay, why am I saying Magnite here? Digital advertising looks to be strong. What you're seeing is digital transformation. If I am a marketer, all of my advertising is going online and that has never changed. That trend has never changed. You've got Magnite, Pubmatic, the Trade Desk, Digital Turbine, all of that is in an uptrend. You have a support scene right now on Magnite and Pubmatic. You might want to enter that because nasa low end siya of support. Zoom Video, low end of support. This is not a leader, but I'd argue at 250, almost 70, 60% na ba? Lower from the 560 area. It's more of the buy territory. 250 to 265, this is gonna go up no matter if it's no matter if it's at those levels. We have a fundamental contrarian buy on these. We are contrarian buys to. Tong 11 names na to, these are not the charts that technicians will buy. These are the charts that only fundamentalists will buy. Zoom has a buy rating for me. Even Twitter, diba? We covered it at $60. It's also a buy for me. Lemonade, 60 to 68. I agree that insurance is gonna be a need necessary for home owners and rental owners. So we didn't see any failure on the earnings point. That's why we're gonna say Zoom, Lemonade is a buy. Zillow, it is in a downtrend, just like Teladoc is. DraftKings is also low. Sorry, hindi ko nalagay dito. DraftKings at 50. These are Cathy Wood names that I believe Cathy Wood's fundamentals is correct here. I'm gonna side with Cathy Wood. There's no deterioration on the fundamentals of Zillow and Teladoc, neither Coinbase. So actually, all of these are buys. I think that the people who punish growth stocks have done it. They are too bearish on growth stocks. Fundamentals-wise, okay sila. These are typical Cathy Wood names. Cathy Wood would love a Zoom Video, a Lemonade, a Zillow, a Teladoc, a Coinbase. Cathy Wood doesn't like China, I think. But I'd argue Li Auto, top 6 electric vehicle released in recent reports should also be favored. The reason why Cathy Wood does not have Li Auto is because obviously she has Tesla and BYD, which we're also bullish upon. In general, we're bullish electric vehicles. So let's take a look at the charts that I mentioned. Ito si Adidas, you can see this is a major support at 258. So obviously, this is a weak trend. The fact that you are near your 1-year low tells you that the market is even thinking baka mag 230. Now, why would it go downtrend as low as 230 or 220? The downtrend here has to do with the supply chain na may shortage nga. They are fearful, not just Adidas. Nike is fearful. Entire China is fearful. So retail as a sector is fearful of production shortages. If you have production shortage, you won't meet your sales forecast. So there is actually a risk, no? Pati yung mga Adidas, Nike, Lulu, lahat ng, you know, if you are producing sneakers, let's not talk about just Nike and Adidas. Even your Anta Sports, Leaning Sports, 2331 and 2020, they won't meet their forecast for the year 2022 if there is inflation. People might stop buying rubber shoes. I don't know. You have to think about it. That's why ito weaker to it. This is a weaker buy, but nonetheless, I'm taking a look at it because if the weak stocks can go up, it means that we're going to be seeing a trading range. So at least I need to see a trading range. Qualcomm, so you can see downtrend yan, but we are contrarian buy. So we are looking to buy. This is already near the 1-year low, October to November, diba? This is on the 1-year low end. Do I see these 1-year lows holding as support? Because Qualcomm bias tayo sa bullish niyan sa earnings, I'd say hindi yan magbe-break ng 52-week new low. I'd say this 122 area is a buy area. Kung mag-breakdown yan, fundamentally, I see it, hindi, buy more pa. 120 hanggang 108 if you have to buy. We would bag hold this because fundamentals is with us. Skyworks, all right. So si Apple relies on Skyworks for 5G. And it's currently at the 1-year low. So ito yung mga 52-week low that I believe will get supported. So some people don't want all-time highs, 52-week highs, super duper highs. So some people want the 52-week low. That's why I have this ideas for you. Skyworks 160. This is the partner of Apple. So all the 5G phones of iPhone 13 will rely on Skyworks. And therefore, you've got this buying opportunity at 160. It is a trading range lang. 10-20% range for these. Funko, I think, is a trading range, 17 to 21. So some people are buying 1850. In fairness to Funko, I am a little bit biased here. It's gonna take about 6 months for people to realize that the Funko NFTs are a great thing. Non-fungible tokens are being sold by Funko today and it's getting sold out. We're talking about $360, $360,000 of income every drop. So they started with the big boy, with the Funko Big Boy, the Funko Iron Maiden. They'll do more, obviously, within a year. And if they do a $20 to $30 million earnings on those Funko NFTs, I bet the earnings will reflect that come December, November. So I think earnings will not be bad for Funko. It will sustain itself. Now, the question is, will good earnings transfer to a higher stock price? If the market is looking at the earnings, yes. I know what people are thinking. It seems like right now, sometimes the earnings, great earnings does not equal to great stock prices. But I think over time, Americans will see it. So every dip of Funko here at 17, look to always buy on weak supports. So you have to take into consideration, it can always sometimes fall, not because of the Funko company, but just because, you know, when you see the headlines, they'll talk about specific negative news on inflation that could inspire people to sell down. And when they sell off, you know what to buy. Magnite, I think this is a long-term buy. It's in the 1-year support as well. 1-year low na yan, yung 24. This has been consolidating for the last year from October, this one 6, no? So 6 to 60 and then consolidated to 24. Magnite is in an uptrend in my view. It's weaker, obviously, versus if you compare the Trade Desk, if you compare this to the likes of Pubmatic, yan yung mga kalaban niya, Pubmatic, Fubo TV, Roku. So, nandyan yan sa connected TV arena, all the digital advertising. So you want to buy this on dips. I'd say that this has found support at 24. So just wait for the support. Nasa 52-week low ka. You are getting 60% discounts from the peaks. Zoom video, you are seeing a 60% discount. That's why for those who want to buy Zoom video, I still would promote and agree a buy. Whether you bought it at $300 doesn't matter. At 250 to 260, I am seeing a buy area here. You want to buy these supports. Nasa 1-year low ka na for Zoom video. This 260 is the same price as September 2020. Lemonade is also trading at a 1-year low, guys. Here at about 68. I remember we were buying at 48. Now, I don't know if we're going to hit 48, but I think 68 all the way to 60, all the way to 48. These are all buying territories already for Lemonade. Why am I looking at 60 to 68? That was the support of May and traveled all the way to 111, inspired by good earnings. So I'm looking for good earnings sentiment within the next 3 months to make this Lemonade go up to 100 yet again. So we're looking for good numbers. Zillow, I think good numbers. Actually, Zillow and Open Door had good numbers. The difference is Zillow hasn't rallied, Open Door has. I'm not sure if there is stigma that whenever Kathy Wood owns it, people doesn't seem to like it, or are they selling or shorting all the ARC-G names or are all the ARC names? But Zillow had done nothing wrong. So I'm going to give a buy here. For those who want to buy Zillow, 85 to 90, homes have done very well. We're talking about triple-digit earnings growth rates here. That's why I'm saying Zillow here about 85. It might trade in a range. 85 could have resistance at 100, 110. Obviously, these resistances are not gone. And we are at 1-year lows. So I'm looking at some 1-year low areas that have good funda. Zillow happens to be one of them. So take a look at this. Open Door already rallied. After earnings, umangat siya from about 14. It rallied to 24. Can it go down to 14? It could. But at 14, 15, 17, I'm willing to buy Open Door. So take note, Zillow is number 1. Open Door is not number 1. How could it be that the number 2, number 3 in the sector, Open Door and Redfin are number 2, number 3, are going up further versus Zillow? So, di ba, mapapaisip ka eh. You'll think ahead. There's something wrong with this statement of the chart. And when there's something wrong, there's an opportunity. Diba? Because we said before, Open Door, good earnings, napabili tayo dito eh. Napabili tayo. In fairness, I made money, but I didn't hold all the way, no? Because of the recent volatility of the market. But really, you can trade this range. I think this is going to be an 85 to 100 range. And then after 100 breaks, 110 and then 120. It takes time. Obviously, it could take 6 months or a year. Okay, Teladoc, I'm going to go contrarian buy here. Teladoc is trading at 120 to 136. No changes in fundamentals. So this is a time wherein you have a 50-60% decline and yet the earnings stayed well. Has it happened? You can see all the charts that I'm showing, good earnings yan. Take a look at Teladoc Health, good numbers. So what we're going to do here, just like what Kathy Wood is doing, is buy low and sell next year. It's possible that you just buy 130. This is a laggard. So if you're looking to buy and sell within the week, Teladoc won't give that to you. All these week buy lists are just buy based on funda, not based on funda and then based on the 1-year support. That's all. Wala ka pang catalyst, no? Ang catalyst na hintayin natin is earnings, which is going to happen November, December. Okay, this is also so people are asking me Nano Dimension. I like Nano Dimension simply because it has all the cash. You are buying this company at cash per share. And it is doing that cash, they're acquiring. The problem when we are doing this is all that we have is just buying at the low. We're just doing a Warren Buffett take here. We're buying low and then we're waiting to sell high at about 8, 9, which is when? Maybe next year, not this week, not next month. So you have all the time in the world to make money first in commodities, the first part of our lecture. And then after you make money there, let's say you make $5,000 bets on the commodities. Let's say you made about $2,000 there. That's when you put it here on the low, on the slower bets. Diba? You make money on the fast, the profit there. May oras, makakabili ka nito. Most likely, Nano Dimension will still stay below 6 for next month. So October ngayon, sa November, 6 below pa rin yan. You can buy it next November. Coinbase, so we're seeing this is a Cathy Wood name as well. And we know that the Reddit loves cryptos and NFTs. Therefore, obviously, 220 every time Coinbase drops, my buyer. So this is a stock in a trading range right now. And you've got resistance here at 300. But I'd say ito, 260 to 280, some people would sell tonight. But then if this drops, every time it drops, you know there is a buyer on dips. So Coinbase will have a buyer on dips, just like Unity, just like Palantir, just like Roblox. These are names that we like to buy on dips. Electric vehicles as a whole, in general, people have been jaded on Chinese stocks, normally because of all the volatility of the regulations, the political environment. It just gives you a shocking 10 to 20% down within a day. So this one, I'm not sure if Li Auto is going to be outperforming. That's why I put it in the weak buy list. Weak buy because obviously at 29, it could go 28, 27 for all we know. What I only have to tell you is that fundamentally, all the Chinese electric vehicles have done well. Li Auto is in top 6 actually. So you might want to consider this every time it dips. Let's say there's a red day on China. If Li Auto is trading at 28 to 27, remind yourself of this presentation wherein these weak buys are willing to buy for the fundamental reason. So Li Auto is also rallying after Nomura calls them a buy. Shares of rally Thursday, Nomura analysts initiate coverage with a buy rating at $43. Now, all these bullish buy takes have been normal for us for renewable energy. We waited renewable energy for about 6 months, and recently it's been going up because of the shortage and energy crisis. So they're buying all the renewables, right? This one is striking to me because Ginkgo Bioworks is a SPAC. Special purpose acquisition companies today are a mine. Like you've got negatives, mostly reds, mostly downtrends, mostly new lows. So I'm not giving a buy reco on DNA, Ginkgo Bioworks, even if I like the funda. Nonetheless, it is a good thing to see that some SPACs are actually trading above 10. Kasi this one is trading 10 to 15, fell to 9, umangat ulit ng 11 to 12. So it's a good development. I want to see more SPACs actually trade above 10 rather than trading at 5, 6, 7, or worse, even trading at below 5. So, yeah, I'll give you, this is a few things to do, no? For the people who are looking for more ideas on energy names, you can just go straight. This is infinviz.com. Again, go to energy names. There are a slurry. We're talking about like 100 names. You can even go 200 names if you wish, no? And you will have so many charts to pick from. But the goal of this lesson is simply to show to you all the uptrend charts, all the fast money charts will come from energy sector, oil and gas. Okay? You concentrate on these sectors. Now, I just gave you ideas because I don't want to tinker with the small caps anymore. But ito, kasi wala naman tayong finunda dito eh. We're just looking on the macro basis that oil, coal, gas, all of the commodities are in an uptrend. So what could you do here? How do you filter? Okay, let's go to the overview. You make a sector energy. Usually I just go for the market caps, no? You can change that. Let's say market cap, you want to trade only mid caps, 2 to 10. You don't want the large and the mega, or you want to go small. So you can do that, small caps. Some people want small caps para lumit yung filter mo. 20 times 6, you've got 120 stocks to choose from. You can also change this to float short. Let's say, hanapin natin yung maraming short. Over 25%, is there any? Isa lang lumabas. Arch Resources. Tingnan natin. Technicals. Let's take a look at the chart of this. Uptrend siya. So ito, may short float if you want to take a look. So you can do that. Like you can choose whatever energy you want. Marami siya. Like we're talking about 500 stocks. Ang hirap naman to pinpoint to you which stock you want to enter. But in general, you can see ito. So marami pa lang nag-short ng Arch Resources. Let's take a look at the chart. All-time highs na. Going all-time highs tonight, 2017 till 2021. So yung setup niyan, going all-time highs, 95 right now. And then you've got major supports right now, higher lows at 90 and 80. So yun, that's one. Let's do more. We've got time. Let's find more ideas. Let's say not small cap. Meron bang mid cap na malaki yung short? Wala. Okay. Large cap, may nag-short ba? Wala rin. Let's take a look kahit na hindi malaki yung short. Lahat ng pinakamalakas na short float on the oil and energy names, any, kahit small caps. Wala. Yung arch lang. Sige, over 5%. Let's filter it. Okay, ito yung lahat ng mga may float, no? Oil and gas, CLR, CTRA, PSXP, CHK. So Chesapeake, alam ko there was a bond. Usually if it's being shorted, they really have a financial problem. If you think about it. So it could have had high debt leverage. Hindi ko to finunda eh. So usually, the people who short have a reason to short them. We're just doing this on a short-term catalyst because we know short-term, there's an energy crisis. So lahat sila, ito maganda yung chart. Denbury, Conso pa siya. DEN. Hanap tayo na magandang chart dito. On the first page, Conso tone din. Next page. Ito, CRC. Ito mababa pa. But I think Reggie has a problem. If the entire sector is in an uptrend and then you see a downtrend, stay away. May company-specific problem yan. It could have been debt-driven, it could have a property default, an oil default. So some oil and gas companies didn't handle the one-year problem, so they got defaulted na. Okay, let me see. Cosmos Energy Arch. Let me check yung magandang setup, which is DEN, DEN. Okay, tama ba? Hindi, wrong spell. Denbury. Okay, Denbury Inc. So hitting near all-time highs to. We'll see if it will break tonight. But it's been consolidating for about ilang months na to, since August. So we'll see if this breaks out, all-time high yung galaw niyan. Okay, another thing that I really like as a sector, has been uranium. So let's go. Ang problem is there's very few uranium stocks listed. So you can see here naman, here, this is the ETF. So exchange traded fund, uranium, ito, you can just buy at the market, $90. I don't need to think which uranium stock kasi konti lang naman sila eh. Ura. Yan, Global X Uranium ETF. So you can just get URA. Yan, URA, URNM. Uranium ETFs are exploding. So going green with exchange traded funds. US deep freeze prompts natural gas rally and uranium prices are melting up. So this has been happening since the year. And I think all over, so for Q4 2021 until 1Q 2022, we don't expect these trends to change. So you just have to buy them and cost average them. Okay? I think I gave good enough ideas. And the beautiful thing is that ito talaga, let me repeat yung mga best charts for me. SCCO, copper, 358. ACH, hindi pa to gumagalaw, guys. Aluminum. Well, gumalaw na siya, but then nasa pullback entry point siya talaga. So nandyan siya sa pullback entry. Sakto lang sa pullback buy. FCX. This is really a good pull breakout. BP, no? So yan. I have them. And I like all the steels because they are at supports, no? Ito, saktong support to. ArcelorMittal, no? Nasa support ka. If you are bullish on wind turbine, you know the demand for all the wind turbine. All those wind blades are made of steel. Therefore, ito, support yan. ArcelorMittal, PKX, POSCO, and US Steel. Yan. Yan yung mga top picks ko for this day until next week, even if it falls. So most of our ideas, even the US names, have been ripping higher. And I expect them to rip higher or taken profits from. So an example of which, we already saw CrowdStrike, gumalaw na yan, 250 to 280 na, 290. It could go higher, but people would probably take some profits, even if it goes 320. So yun, just focus on the fast money moves. And then whatever money you get, you've got next month. So tinitingnan ko pa rin yung mga slower movements. Because some people like the slow moves as well, no? Because they like something slow and low. So remember that. Fast and hot, be fast. Slow and low, you can take your time. That's it, and have a good night. See you, and thanks for watching this Friday free class. Thank you.